Hey guys, welcome back. Just gonna do a little quick update on the R32. It's been a while since I've even gotten a chance to work on the car and to update you guys on what's going on. Got sick over the holidays and you know how it is, just couldn't find the time to work on the car. So to add to that, my cameras were both dead, so I worked on it without filming. So I'm just gonna update you on where we are right now. So the car is finally completely empty. Finally got the harness out of the car, which was actually a lot more difficult than you may think, just because it's really rigid mounted all over the place, and you gotta try and be very careful with the clips to not break them when you pull them out of the car. Specifically, which clips? Which clips? What are they? These guys. These little guys right here. They break very easily when you pull them out, so gotta be super gentle, and they're all over the car. And this thing weighs easily, I don't know, 50 pounds. It's just the body harness, not the engine harness, but it does go into the engine compartment through that little hole over there. But that's out. And then besides the loom, which was the hardest, I'd say, or not hardest, just most time consuming, was getting everything else out. So center drive shaft you already saw. Got the column out. Unfortunately, don't have the rack. I might pick one up just because the R32 rack is a quicker rack, I believe. So that'd be nice to just include in the whole swap. But got the booster, got all of the pedals. I believe they're over there somewhere. ABS module, which this might be crucial to the swap because it is unique to an R32. And once I know everything that's going to be specific to this car, I'm going to detail it. I'm going to lay everything out and just explain all the parts that I reclaimed from the R32. What else? In here, this yaw sensor or accelerometer, whatever you want to call it, this actually sits on the steering column itself. And this is crucial to the traction control. And because this is an all-wheel drive car, I'm probably going to have to use this one and not the one out of my GTI. One thing that I am getting lucky about from the research I've been doing is because my GTI is a 2003, it's an ESP car. And from what I've been reading, because it's an ESP car, that means getting the all-wheel drive to mesh with my existing loom and my existing modules in certain areas of the car is actually going to be a lot simpler. If it was an ASR car, apparently it would be a lot more difficult. So, you know, that's really high level. I don't really know the specifics just yet, so don't tear me apart if you do know. But if you do, send me a DM because I could use your help. Otherwise, transfer case, tranny, all that, the bracket for the transfer case. What else? All the heat shields, which I'm gonna need because these are unique to the R32. I'm keeping all the pedals just because, again, not sure what might be specific to the R32. I'm gonna have to start looking up part numbers and actually comparing everything to figure out what I'm gonna need to keep and what I can throw out. I've thrown out a bunch of stuff already though, and we'll probably be throwing about a bunch more. So the next step with the car is going to be, obviously you can't see it because the car doesn't have springs in it, but we're gonna get underneath it and start taking it apart, the all-wheel drive, hopefully dropping it all as a contained unit, and then I'm gonna be taking it apart and sending the rear subframe, or whatever you wanna call it, the bulkhead, off to get powder coated and cleaned up so that when I put it back together in the other car, it'll all be really nice. More than likely going to be tearing apart the transmission and the transfer case. Maybe not the transfer case, but the transmission definitely, to beef it up a bit. Same with the rear diff, hopefully putting a quaif in there or whatever the best differential is that we can find. So let's see, what else can I update you on right now? I think that's basically it. So this might be a kind of a short video. One of the other things I've noticed, which might be pretty obvious, is that the interior components for the rear of the car are actually unique. Not only are they unique in size and design, the carburetor is actually different in the R32, I'm figuring out. So some stuff is still missing, so I'm gonna have to find that stuff. But it's good to start seeing this stuff as I take it apart. The rear floor on the R32 is actually higher than on the GTI. That I already knew. And that can be seen with the fact that it has a space saver spare and not a full size like the GTIs do. This actually is not as deep, and it's got this big bump in the middle, which actually contains some evap stuff in here, whereas the GTI, everything is contained to the back part of the wheel well here. So a lot of differences. So I'm gonna have to keep all the evap stuff too, so I'll show you all that when I take it out. So I'm gonna be holding on to the harness primarily because of the fact that I'm gonna have to figure out exactly what belongs to the Haldex, and I'm more than likely gonna pull it out of the harness and put it aside, and then if I can, just run that, you know, button it up real nice and make it look like its own little harness and run it alongside the existing harness in my car so that, one, it's serviceable, and two, I don't have to go basically undoing my harness and, you know, not wiring it, but, you know, looming it in so it all looks nice with the existing harness. I'd rather just have it run parallel where it can, and that makes it easier to access if there's ever a problem after the fact. Hopefully we can get it all tested and figured out before, you know, the car is buttoned up with any sort of interior trim or anything like that. So not as an eventful video as I probably could have had if I actually was able to film as I worked, but that's basically it. And quick little shout out here to somebody who helped me. She helped me.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
You did a help.
I did.
A big help.
No, it wasn't that much.
She's a lot more delicate with parts than I am. So I broke a couple of clips. So that's one thing. Like, it took a long time to get the harness out because I didn't want to break clips. I ended up breaking a bunch of clips because I'm a savage animal. But Gina, who's never worked on a car to this extent, at least not pulling out a harness, she never broke one clip. So go figure. Looks like she's going to be doing all the rest of the work on this car.
It's only because it's your car. If it was my car, everything would be broken. So.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
That makes sense, you know? There's some sort of like phenomenon where like when you work on your own car, everything breaks. And then when you work on somebody else's car, everything's always, we're going fine. Like, I'm always able to advise people on their cars better. I'm always able to help people work on their cars better. But then I turn around and go to work on my car and I break everything and nothing ever comes out correctly. I don't think it has a name or anything like that, but it's definitely a real phenomenon in the car world. All right.
Murphy's Law.
Murphy's Law?
Yeah.
What's that? Everything that can go wrong will go wrong, right?
When it's your own stuff.
Yeah.
When it's somebody else's, it's okay.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna cut this video right here. And what are you doing? Mm-hmm. You're playing with the harness?
Kind of. It's like so much.
Yeah, it's like what, 50 pounds worth of copper, right?
Yeah.
Easy?
Easy.
Yeah, there you go. Hold on, let me back up. Gina for scale.
And that's all tangled up with it.
Fun. And it's got all the fuses and relays and everything still attached. So it definitely adds weight.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, guys, I'm gonna end it right there. Not much else to update right now. It's gonna get more interesting. I'll make sure to cover as I take out everything in the back of the car. And that's basically it, so see you next time. Peace.